From the News Talk STL studios in St. Louis, it's the Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter. On tonight's episode, making fun of the No Kings protest with comedian Brian Folan, the Martin Scorsese of Missouri filmmaker Adam Boster, and the Right Mind Studio Band, Mitch Murphy and the Murphy Tones. Now putting the fun in your dysfunctional world, here's your host, Todd Showalter.
All right. Guess last week I came in here, okay, and I made this big deal about how they never finished this building. What are you doing? It looks like you're meditating over there. Are you okay?
I was getting in the zone.
I guess you were. But back to the story that I haven't started yet. So I'm not going to talk about this building that they're never going to finish because when I come to the studio, okay, I have to go up this big interstate called Highway 270. Those that are in St. Louis know what I'm talking about. And you've got to go through this giant work zone that's been a work zone for like the last 40 or 50 years. Now, here's the thing. Do you notice, do you know which one I'm talking about, the work zone on 270? There's never anybody working in the work zone, which is the reason why I think this work zone has been perpetual for the last 40 or 50 years. What, do you just put up a sign and say work zone?
This work zone is more useless than any other work zone I've ever seen. What happened was the rich people all got together and they moved into a little city called Ladue.
Yeah,
and then for some reason, they wanted more expansive and beautiful and nice-smelling off-ramps. So what they're doing is they squished all of the actual highway people into 2 lanes so that they can expand their off-ramps in Ladue. And that's what they're working on, like 3 or 5 lane off-ramps so more people can come into Ladue. And then if you're Mexican or something, they kick you out. And because we're all getting squoze at the Ladue exits, people are dying left and right. I had someone barreling into this merge with a giant lawnmower hauling trailer. You know, they had a big trailer on the back, and when they had to merge, the trailer swung out in front of me and almost final destinationed me.
Oh, no.
And that's because of the Ladue people, who I hate very much now.
All because the rich people want big off-ramps. Is that like that Botox thing? Because they inject the stuff in their face to have bigger lips, but they also want bigger off-ramps? Is that the same type of thing?
I think everyone who's got the big fish lips also have a shellfish disease, because that's what they look like when they get the Botox and the big lips and their face is so tight. I think Kristi Noem almost died of that this past week.
Is that what it was?
She got taken off in an ambulance because she got too much Botox in her eyeballs.
Is that what it was? I thought it was just an allergic reaction to maybe Crisco or something.
Could have been.
I'm not supposed to bring Crisco up because that's a whole other story. Well, I just don't get it because they've got all these. Nobody's doing anything. I mean, it's almost. I mean, have the workers on the highway have they been like replaced by AI or something like that? Because you know that's what everybody's all worried about. Everybody's worried about AI taking over and replacing everything. And do you worry about that? Okay. Do you think anybody could replace you and moi to doing this show? I mean, I don't think we are replaceable. Do you think?
There's a good chance it could happen. Now, this is something that's actually happened here at News Talk STL.
What?
Jamie Allman, great guy, noon to 2 weekdays.
Did I tell you? I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm not going to say it. But he said a word yesterday that starts with P, okay? It's a derogatory word for cat, okay, that he said not once but twice, and nothing happened. He just totally got away with it. Do you remember when I don't mean to like block your story, but do you remember when I said something similar? What happened? All HE double hockey sticks broke loose and they took it off and I was banned from ever doing anything live. But he was able to say it.
He said, you got to sneak it in. I was like, sneak it in the what?
Sneak it in.
Sneak it in the P? And he's like, no, you got to say it right at the beginning of the segment like they don't even notice it. And he's done that. Well, he comes in, he's like, Rand Paul's a wussy. But with the P word.
Yeah.
And I thought, everyone goes, there's no way he said that, and they go back to doing their work.
I didn't listen to another word he said or what he had to talk about. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I don't anyway, but I'm just saying that's all I could focus on is, and I almost called you, my friend. I said, did you? And I did call you, didn't I? I sent you a text at 6 o'clock in the morning because I'm pretty sure you were asleep. I thought maybe you'd wake up for it, but I said, what did I say? I said, did you just, yesterday, Jamie Allman said the P word that I'm not allowed to say.
Now, what happened was Jamie's got a foul mouth sometimes.
Yeah.
And so when we need him to record a commercial and he's in one of these cussy moods, what we do is we clone his voice. This has literally happened.
You cloned
the guy who does all the commercials and the voices for the station, Big Boss Jim.
Right.
He cloned Jamie's voice for a commercial and then just threw that in. And then when Jamie heard it, he about pooped his little shorts.
Well, this goes
He said,
full circle.
I didn't record that. I was like, well, you were cussing that day, so we had to use an AI chatbot.
So wait a minute. This goes right back to what we were talking
Mm-hmm.
about. Do you think... Again, I don't think you and I, though. I mean, people like us. I mean, we're irreplaceable, aren't we? I don't think AI could replace us. Can you think of any capacity that we could be replaced?
I don't know. I have heard Vic Porcelli. He's a great guy, great host, great producer.
He's
Tim
very
Williams.
confused, though.
He's
lately.
on from 9 a.m. to noon, and he's been talking about the scams that telemarketers may try, or people in India. Hello, and because they got the accent. These Indian people have the accent. And so what they try and do is they scam you by cloning a voice of your grandkid. They call you up and they say, Grandpa, I need money. And Vic is so paranoid about this happening that he's come up with a safe word with his kids.
A safe word? Is it a secret?
But unfortunately, he's told this story on the air, and now everyone knows his safe word. Wow. So Vic says, all right, if my kids call up and they ask me for money, they have to know the safe word, which is a gabagool.
A gabagool.
Gabagool. I think that's a Sopranos
that?
word. I think it's a Sopranos word.
It sounds like some type of a booger that a kangaroo would have. A gabagool. What is that?
I think it's a type of food that Tony Soprano ate.
Oh, okay.
Anyway.
So
Jamie has been replaced, and our show, I don't know, our show is so funny. I know AI doesn't have a sense of humor.
No.
I haven't heard anything funny come out of an AI.
Well,
I did give AI a prompt this morning, though, which let's see if it's funny. If this is funny, then we'll know if AI is funny.
No, wait. You did something with AI for our show?
Yeah, I had AI read a commercial or come up with a script or, for our show.
Really?
And if you think it's funny, then we can be replaced.
Do you have it?
I have it. So let's play it right now, and we'll see just how funny AI can possibly be.
Wow.
The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter is a radio show that all women love. The hosts are handsome, the jokes are about feminists who don't shave, and the show airs on Saturday afternoons at 5, which means I can listen in the kitchen while I'm making sandwiches for my hungry boys. I love The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter, and you will too. Only on News Talk STL. Oh, and just in case Vic Porcelli thinks this is an AI voice, the safe word is gabagool.
What the heck?
Wow!
Not only was it funny,
That is great.
it was listening to Vic's safe word.
Yeah.
So now I don't know what's real.
Yeah. I think that's actually better than I thought.
I did not write that script. All I said was say something funny about the Right Mind Show. It listened to every podcast episode we've ever had.
Right.
And it came up with those sexist jokes, which
Right.
I didn't know we were that sexist. And granted, it was pretty funny.
Well, that was total AI, you're saying. And again, what did she have a name? That wasn't like the new...
That was Sarah from Envato.
Sarah from Envato. Can we have her on the show? Maybe she could be a guest.
Of course she can come on the show.
Because she'd probably go along with anything we wanted her to say.
Did you hear the inflections, too? She was like, and Vic Porcelli. She went up and then down. I mean...
this is Sarah goes up and down.
Better than the Amazon Alexa voices that I've been stealing, where it's like, Todd Showalter... Please stop being so sexist.
No,
That's what it used to sound like.
Can you send me that just so I can listen? Can I make that my ringtone?
It's sent. It's like the AI monster virus from Mission Impossible, the Dead Reckoning. Once I send it to your phone, I think it's taken over. Is someone calling you right now? Could be Sarah.
That is actually her on the line.
Ask her if she knows the safe word.
Wow, with the safe word. I didn't know they had safe words. Now, I know that they have safe words like in sex and things like that, okay?
It's like that,
yeah. Yeah, I mean...
this is phone sex with Vic.
And so, but is this like this? I mean, it's not as a Vic. I mean, he didn't come up with this during a sexual encounter, did he?
Maybe gabagool's also a safe word for his wife.
I don't picture Vic yelling out
You can't be crossing the
gabagool.
streams with the safe words. One's for intimacy, banana, or whatever. But that is my safe word. Damn, I shouldn't have said that.
Your safe word during sex is banana?
Yeah, it's banana.
So you have a safe word, or Erica, your lovely girl, has a safe word.
Usually you have the same safe word.
Right, you have the same safe word.
Yeah.
Okay. What do deaf people do? If you're deaf and you can't hear the safe word, I guess you're just gonna
punch them in the face. Ow, that hurts. Yeah.
Wow, I'm really good. You know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead, do the show, and at the end, we're going to decide if the listeners can tell if it was really us or if it was AI. What do you think?
Yeah, we'll have a call-in show at the end.
Oh, I think it'll be great, yeah. Well, we're going to find out when we come back. In the meantime, I'm Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy in the whole world, except for Sarah, the AI person. This is The Right Mind Show. We'll be right back.
Todd, you are such a sweetie.
Coming up next on The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter, lawyer/comedian Brian Folan on the No Kings protests.
Welcome back to the Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter on News Talk STL. And now a man who once posed for Playgirl magazine, but ended up taking them to small claims court after he saw the pictures. Todd Showalter.
And we're back. I'm Todd Showalter with my bestest buddy in the whole world. And on the line now is one of our, we have a whole posse of comedians. I said
you can't.
I said posse.
Oh, okay.
Posse. Unlike Jamie that said the wrong thing, okay? Of comedians that come on the show. And one of our favorites is Brian Folan from Philadelphia, which is another story. How you doing, Brian?
Great. How are you doing? And you got me worried about a no posses rally or something like that.
How's the comedy gigs going? Now, for people that don't remember, you are an attorney, a lawyer that also does comedy, and I've always found lawyers funny to begin with. My brother's a lawyer, okay? He's not real funny, but I leave that to you. What is it like in the world of being a comedian in the legal world?
It's great. Sometimes my cases feed right into what I'm doing, and sometimes it's a good safety valve, release valve from all the stuff that goes on. But yeah, some of the stuff is just funny. Sometimes I can't repeat it, but it keeps me laughing. And doing things at trial sometimes is truly like stand-up. It really is.
I was going to ask you, I mean, has there ever been a time, like say you're defending somebody that's, about to get the death penalty or something, and you know the guy is just, you've lost the jury, okay, and you know that the guy is going to fry, and so do you just like in your final comments or moments or whatever they say your last time, do you just like break into a stand-up and just entertain everybody instead of trying to save the guy's life?
I haven't had that chance yet, but it probably would be an effective strategy at that point. Leave them laughing.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll appreciate it.
I think so. I mean, if you're going to die, dying in comedy is like you're pretty much dying in real life anyway. If you're going to get the chair, why not have some fun with it? Hey,
Exactly.
I wanted to bring this up though. We talked a little bit about it before the show. I wanted to get, this whole no kings thing going on. All the crazy liberals out in the streets, with their no king sign and things like that. You and I were briefly talking about the hypocrisy of this because, you got the Democrats and the liberals who are basically fascists themselves calling Donald Trump a king. What's your take on this whole thing?
Yeah, the hypocrisy is what really strikes me. And even more, if you think about it, they actually supported a king for 4 years.
Uh-huh.
They supported Biden, who, the primary was rigged for him. The powers that be told Buttigieg and Klobuchar, or whatever her name is, told them to get out. Then Biden's in office, and instead of the guy is incapable, he's ill. Instead of using the 25th Amendment, which is supposed to be what you do when a president is ill and unable to work, they instead covered it up.
Right.
And the whole court around him, the courtiers, ran the show, and they tried to keep it secret. And the jesters, the mainstream media, they kept it secret. So, that's what you do when you have a sick king. That's not what you do when you have a sick president.
Right.
And then there's no primary, right? They anoint, then they anoint Kamala, then they lose to a popularly elected leader.
Right.
Trump won the popular vote, and now they're the ones screaming no kings.
Right.
I mean, their king just got deposed. It's incredible to me.
We have other conservative comedians that come on, Chrissy Mayer, Andy Rogers, things like that, and they're conservative comedians. And we talk about the whole stand-up comedy environment for being a conservative, comedian in today's world when everything, most of these late night liberals and things like that, everything is so woke and not funny. How are you dealing with that? I mean, do you have to adjust your show, or do you only cater to audiences that like your stuff?
Yeah, I definitely try to read the room and adjust the show because, just like I hate a bunch of woke comedians tell me what to think and what isn't funny, same thing there. But one thing I find that is so difficult is a lot of the people, the really hardcore people who by the way, I guess, right, they thought we were racist. Now they think we're royalists. You know?
Oh, I
But,
didn't hear that one. Is that a new one? Did that just come out a few minutes ago?
That's what they're going to call us if they think we like kings.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Hey, you're a royalist. You're a monarchist.
Wow. Okay. Well, you're on the East Coast, so that hasn't made it. We're in St. Louis. I guess that'll be here by this afternoon. It's kind of like a reverse weather front for stupidity.
Exactly.
Got it. A
But
royalist.
the shows, but the humor, you're right. And I was thinking about this recently after a show I was doing in Delaware, which was a really fun show. But it's like, I really do feel like after 2016, humor changed.
Yeah.
And I think it's because, for a joke to be funny, like think about this for a second. Pretend my punchline to a joke, I didn't write the joke, here's the punchline, is the sky is green.
Yeah.
Right? That's only funny because we all know the sky isn't green. We all know it's blue or maybe gray or whatever.
Right.
Right. So we know that. But if you are, on this, in this woke world, everything changes. They get new things every day. It's Trump's a dictator. He's Hitler. Now he's a king. They also had, we like James Comey. We hate James Comey. When he did something against Hillary, then we like him again. So it's always changing. The left and, so many people support women's sports. Then it's like, well, now we don't know what a woman is. So there's like no baseline of common thinking against which you can juxtapose something that would be funny. There's no contrast. And so I noticed this in that kind of crowd, like they're looking at me and they're trying to judge first, like, am I allowed to laugh at this?
Right.
Is this on the approved list today? So it is very weird. So sometimes you'll get this pause, or sometimes you get no laugh, or sometimes despite themselves they'll laugh, and if they're sitting with someone who doesn't like it, they might get a dirty look. I mean, it's really different,
Yeah.
and there are so many ways to offend these days.
I want to ask you though, going back to your legal background and things like that. How did your current lifestyle evolve? Or were you a lawyer and became a comedian? Were you always a comedian that then went on to study law? What transpired here?
Let's see. So I was a full-time law professor, and I was a visiting professor up in Boston at Boston University's law school. And so there's no real logic to it. It's just one day I was taking the subway into work, and I read about improv comedy, and a voice in my head said, I should do stand-up, and I followed it. It sounds crazy, but I then just signed up, took a class, and just loved it. And people always said I was funny, and teaching, there's a lot of humor in that, but yeah, it's definitely different from teaching or law. It's definitely its own thing, but it's so much fun, and it's definitely improved my life. It's made me take a lot of stuff that maybe is not funny or is disappointing, and flip it and turn it into something funny. So that's a really good aspect of it.
No, I think it's great for your it's good for your well-being, isn't it? I mean, because everything is pretty much everything's pretty much funny when you think about it. I mean, people say I love it when people say you can't laugh at that. I think, well, I'm going to laugh harder at that because that's even funnier.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what I find the funniest. So it's neat that you can go ahead and do that. Are you still practicing law, or are you doing comedy full time now?
Oh yeah, no, I've got a full-time law practice. Won a federal jury trial recently, and all that. So it really helps sometimes, especially if I'm doing very like my job goes from really big pictures, the law job, big picture strategizing, dealing with people, sometimes down to the most minute details about a law or a fact, a date when something happened. And I find like being able to step away from that and get up and connect with people, make people laugh, is just so fun. And I'm not acting like I'm altruistic I love making people laugh. Like, it's fun for me.
Sure. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, do you
For all
ever,
the reasons.
like in the middle of a trial, do you ever, ask for permission to approach the bench and just remind the judge that you're a stand-up comedian?
I would like to do that. And the sad thing is sometimes I've had some judges, and I think that's really funny, but I'm not sure if it was intentional.
Sure.
And sometimes there's the jokes that are untold. One time I was cross-examining, and I'm not in court all the time every day, but a few years ago I was cross-examining someone who was actually a judge at the time and hadn't been a judge at the time of the underlying incident. And I was asking the person because what the person claimed was really ridiculous. And I turned to the jury like they were a stand-up audience, and they started laughing. It's like here we're doing some stand-up. It was so much fun.
Yeah, I bet. Well, we're just about out of time. Where can people check you out? Do you have a YouTube page, or are you going to be doing some touring, or how can people see your work?
Mostly my Facebook page right now, Brian Folan, and there's a show I run in Philadelphia, the Mount Airy neighborhood. It's called Melalani Comedy, Mallenai.
Okay.
I think that's it. And it's we're kind of retooling the show, and we're going to start back up again on July 26th with some fantastic comedians on a Saturday night. And I'll be posting about that. It's going to be great.
And what's that again? Give us the name one more time. I didn't quite catch it.
Melalani Comedy, Maleni. Lani.
Got it. Okay. Well, one final thing before I let you go. One of
and that's a cafe. That's the name of the cafe.
Oh, cafe. I got it.
Yeah.
Cafe.
Sorry. Yeah.
One final note, since you are in Philadelphia, one of the hosts here at News Talk STL, he just got back from Israel. He was there for the trip of a lifetime, where he ended up being in a war zone and the trip from hell. And the first thing he did when he finally made it to the States into Philadelphia was in the terminal at the Philadelphia airport.
Right.
Is get down and kiss the ground right outside a restroom in the Philadelphia airport. Now, should he be like maybe go see a hospital or be immunized? I mean, get some shots or something for this? Because I mean, is the Philadelphia airport, is that a good place to lick the ground?
Probably not. It's
okay.
But on the upside, he may have really built up serious immunity going forward.
Okay. So you're a you're a doctor too. You're a lawyer, doctor, and a comedian.
Yeah. Juris Doctor.
Got it. Well, I'm going to let him know that. Yeah, because you're like right there. Okay. Well, Brian, thank you.
If he doesn't die, he's going to be healthier.
Hey, that could be the name of it. That could be the name of one of your shows.
I like it. I like that. Thank you.
Well, thank you for joining us. I look forward to the next time, and I wish you well. And I tell you, if I have any legal questions or comedy questions, you're the guy I'm going to call. Okay.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Great talking with you, Todd. See you
too,
later.
buddy. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
Another one of our comedian friends. I mean, it's always nice to, have the comedians on the show to kind of lighten things up because, we do put the fun in our dysfunctional world. Did you have fun with that?
Of course. And, we're really glad that Chris Arps, he's on.
Yes.
From, what is it? I'm on that show too.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the producer for that show. I think I know. You'd think I'd know when it was on. 4 to 6.
Right,
4 to 6 every weekday, Tim Jones and Chris Arp Show. We are glad that he's back and alive, but man, we got so many likes and so many views and so many follows because of his imminent death. And I feel like we're letting the people down, but it's good to have him back.
He's back, and here's the thing: because I was sincerely concerned, and so I reached out to him through Messenger and would check on him and things. And I thought maybe he thought I was joking with him, but I was really concerned. So I'm going to ask you, my friend: do people think I'm just a callous hard ass that doesn't have a soft side? Because I am a caring, soft, soft emotional person. You know that, right?
You're always soft. Every time I meet you, you're a softie.
Yeah, right.
He actually shared one of your cartoons, so I think he loves that you checked in, and that was his way of paying you back. He shared your George Floyd T-shirt cartoon, and he was so proud of you.
So in the meantime, on Todd's show, Walter Lone, my bestest buddy in the whole world, and Sarah, the AI person. This is The Right Mind Show. We'll be right back.
Todd, I don't know if AI can die, but I'm definitely putting you in my will.
Coming up next on The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter, filmmaker Adam Boster on bringing more movie productions to Missouri. Welcome back to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter on News Talk STL. And now a man who was fired as the videographer at a Jewish bris after yelling, "Cut!" Todd Showalter.
And we're back. I'm Todd Showalter, along with my bestest buddy, Joey V. And on the line now is the king of the Hollywood of Missouri, Joey. It's Adam Boster. How are you, my friend? And how is Hollywood in Columbia, Missouri?
Well, Hollywood out here at Boster Castle in Columbia is kicking tail. We've had a lot of movies. I think over the past 2.5 years,
Yeah.
I think, Todd, we've worked on 12 different feature films.
Right.
Pretty crazy, man.
Well, and that's why I want to have you on, because I follow you and all this stuff that you've got going on. And I was joking originally about the Hollywood of Missouri, but it really is true. I mean, you've got some major productions going on right there in Columbia, Missouri, and you put this whole empire together, so to speak. For those that don't know, how did you start building this whole castle of yours?
Oh my gosh, man! Well, I've been at this for a long time, since the '90s,
Right.
and got on movies like Dazed and Confused, and then moved out to Hollywood for 9 years, and then ended up moving back here to Missouri, and then got back into film again. And it's just really been the past probably 2.5, 3 years that we've built up. We've bought all the equipment. We own the Red cameras, the 10,000 square foot soundstage. We own our own cop car, armored trucks, all the stuff you need, lights, everything you need to make movies, And so people just started calling us, and they're like, "Hey, can you drive to Florida and shoot this movie called Killer Grannies?" We're like, "Sure." Can you go to West Virginia and shoot this monster movie called Gnarly Yow? Light yourself on fire for this movie called Deadly Visitor. I'm like, okay,
right.
Let's do it, man.
Well, that's because you actually did. I saw that. I mean, because you posted a picture of you on fire. Now, what did that all entail, and how did you get involved with that? I mean, did they just need like a stunt double, and you said, "Hey, I'll do it"?
Well, this guy, a director named Aaron Williams, who we've worked on 3 of his movies. 2 of them were period pieces that you can watch on Fossum, Peanut Man, and gosh, man, the name is escaping me here. Yeah, Greenwood Rising, about the Black Wall Street. Mm-hmm. Before those, Todd, he got in touch with me about this movie called Deadly Visitor, and he said, "Hey, this is when we met, and we shot out here in our area, and we figured out where we were going to shoot it, locations, actors, props, everything. We pretty much brought all the tools, to the table to make it happen." And then he's like, "Hey, I got this one scene where this guy lights on fire," and I'm like, "Okay, we're doing it." And he's like, "Well, hey, could you fall through a roof and in a death scene?" I'm like, "You know what? We built the roof, we built the room, and did the stunt." It's crazy stuff, and it is true, man, that nobody really realizes how much. I hate to I almost call it Mollywood. That's got the wrong term, right?
Well, I don't know. I kind of think, we'll work on that one. But Mollywood, that's not bad. Yeah.
We'll work on it.
Yeah, well, it's wild because now you're talking about going out into other locations, but then you're shooting a lot of films in Columbia, Missouri. I mean, one of the ones that you just finished not too long ago was Spanx, and the last time you were on, it was finished, and you were working on the distribution angle of that. Now, how is that coming along?
Really, really cool. There's a lot of films that we've shot here, and people can go watch Lost Treasure of Jesse James.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah.
On your smart TV. Then there's a movie called Shakespeare's Mummy that we shot here that's coming out, and another one, a really beautiful film called Alexandria. These 2 feature films that'll be coming out on smart TV soon. And I want to tell you a little bit more in a minute about Alexandria. But Spanx is really exciting. It's a finished film. It's like a coming of age Napoleon Dynamite story. Mm-hmm. And if you don't know, Napoleon Dynamite was made on a couple $100,000, and it did $42 million at the box office.
Right,
so
right.
What we actually built a little one-room studio here in Columbia, and we've had people that are interested in being a part of investors to take that to theater. We've had them come out here. I fly them out, have them watch the movie in our black box theater. and we're just looking at getting that released out to theater first before it goes to market and shows up on your TV.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, because the last time you were on, you said you were actually working with some people associated with Napoleon Dynamite as far as a marketing team or something like that. Is that still something that you're still moving forward with? Because you were talking about investors. I mean, can people still invest in this?
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a company that does a lot of independent film distribution called Freestyle Releasing, and they're interested in taking the film out to theater like they've done about 200 other independent films. So these guys know their stuff. It's their business. It's how they operate. So now it's just a matter of saying, okay, here's the money to buy, advertising for the theater, if that makes sense. And,
right.
And they're in business,
It's a whole process. Well, as far as everything's kind of changed on the film landscape. Everything used to be, Hollywood and all of that. But over time, obviously, things have progressed and moved. They've expanded. I mean, you have Austin. You have Atlanta's a new hot one. I mean, do you think Columbia, Missouri could be another film hub?
I think that actually what's happened is that if you look at the numbers over the past 3 years and you look at the tax credits that came into Missouri just recently, we've already become that hub. Mm-hmm. The world just doesn't know it. Because if you think about it, like, for example, man, I've just listed off a bunch of movies that aren't even going to hit the market until maybe, this time next year. Right. And so a lot of this stuff's going to start coming out. I've got filmmakers. I've got a couple of films, like one called Never Again, one called Kill the Girl, which is kind of like a vampire movie, only Kill Bill with a vampire in it. Mm-hmm. And like those movies are going to be made, here this year. And as soon as we get all the financing put together, and those kinds of films, man, they're along with Spanx and, along with Killer Grannies and Snarly Yal and this film Deadly Visitor and Alexandria, and the list just goes on, dude. We've really become one of those hubs, and a lot of people just don't know that yet. Yeah. Until these films start coming out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure. And you mentioned the tax credits. I mean, that is a recent development, and I think that's going to be a major boom. I mean, it's helping you guys as far as what you're doing now. I mean, have you taken advantage of that to date?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And it's a real kind of interesting thing because, you basically you go, hey, look, we're going to make – people don't realize you can make a feature film for, $300,000, right? And if somebody invests in that and you got a 42% tax credit, that means that 42% of that investment's coming right back.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And so all of a sudden to make a profit on a film, it's like, oh, okay, this is much more realistic. And that's – thank you, Missouri government, for – bringing that back to life. It's huge for our industry. It's really blown up the industry here in Missouri, Don.
Yeah, and I think also one of the things that people don't seem to realize, I think one of the problems, and I'm not trying to dish on anybody, but in St. Louis we have different people there putting together different projects and things like that, and it's very much an auteur type thing, and this is my vision and all that. But I think you've got to look at, if you're really going to build a studio or an area that's going to be a hub like you're doing, you've got to look at the economic benefits as well. I mean, you're actually putting people to work. I mean, when you have a studio type of environment, there are other people, whether it be catering, whether it be electricians, carpenters, things that are involved with this that are not just, the movie stars in the actual film, that are actually you're creating jobs. And I think that's a big thing that a lot of people are overlooking. I mean, what's your take?
Yeah, well, you're right on. The majority of the money goes right back into the hands of Missouri skilled labor that is building sets, lighting sets, working with equipment, planning, doing wardrobe, doing props, doing makeup, doing catering, the hotels that are rented, the gas for the trucks, the travel, the things that are needed to purchase, to be able to make it happen locally. The majority of that money goes right back into Missouri, and that's the whole point.
Sure, absolutely. Well, what is it? You said you wanted to talk about a new project, new film, Alexandria. What's that all about? I personally have not heard about that one.
Oh, man. So I had this amazing organization come to us named the St. Raymond Society, and they literally rescue homeless mothers, pregnant women, most likely with drug addictions, and give them resources, help supply them with education, with the tools they need to succeed and turn their life around. And here in Columbia, there's an organization called St. Raymond's. And they had a woman named Alexandria that went from what I just described to being the valedictorian of her class in college here in Columbia.
Wow.
To amazing, a wife with an amazing husband, getting custody of her son back. And just, you'd hear this story and it just makes your heart soar with joy.
Well, that's fantastic.
Such an amazing message.
Now,
so
go ahead.
Okay. But this kind of message, being able to get that out to the world, that just excites us here at Boster Castle.
I bet. So how far along is it then?
It's done, man.
It's done.
It's actually,
Okay.
we shot it. It's in the can. We had a red carpet, and so soon, probably by the end of the year, you'll be able to go on your smart TV at night and look up Alexandria, and there you can watch it.
Wow.
And if anybody's wondering, like, hey, how do I keep up with this stuff?
Yeah.
They can go look our website up.
Right.
At BosterCastleStudios.com, BosterCastleStudios.com.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And again, I want to keep asking you these questions, but Joey here, my partner here, he keeps pulling on my arm like a 2-year-old little kid. That he keeps asking about our buddy film, okay? Because as you know, we keep bringing up we're supposed to be we talked about Joey and I and you doing this buddy film, and stuff. And I keep saying I will ask him. Will you stop that? Knock it off. And so so he went, even now he's like, now he's pouting. Okay, what's Joey? Do you want to jump in and just say, I would stop your pouting and ask him about our buddy film?
After what happened on the Rust set with Alec Baldwin, I don't think we want a buddy cop movie. So maybe we could have like a buddy plunger movie, we're plumbers.
Or plumbers with
Super
plungers.
Mario. Yeah.
The only movies that plumbers are in are not like buddy films. And it's usually like the plumber comes, that's a whole different industry.
I've been tanning my crack just for the final scene,
gosh.
the big reveal when I get under the sink and, fix those pipes.
I think we flush that idea. We pull out the guns and make a real gun movie. Come on, man. Let's do it.
And you said flush, and it's a plumbing gun, a plumber gun movie. Wow. He's got, okay, Flush. We could name it that, Adam. It could be called Flush.
Hey, there it is. That's the name of the movie. It's called Flush.
It's called Flush. Instead of Fletch, it's Flush.
There's a poker game going on with gangsters, and we're asked to come and fix the pipes. And then there's a Mexican standoff shootout. And we take the money and run.
With plungers. Wow.
And all the sexy girls saying, come fix my pipes. You got it. You got the humor, you got the action, you got everything.
Do you have a new pipe for me? Yeah. Oh, I like this. Wow. Okay. Well, I think we've gone in a whole...
No.
That's the wrong direction. Well, now I'm all flummoxed.
I think we're in pre-production. That's what just happened.
Not pre-production. Yeah, something like that. Put that away. Anyway, Adam, I'm sorry to leave on such a messy note like that, but he did want to just bring that up. And again, here you are, the king of Mollywood, the Hollywood of Missouri, and we've just embarrassed ourselves. But hey, again, if anybody wants to get in touch with you on a serious note, Joey, stop it. Boster's Castle, BOSTER Castle.com. And
Boster Castle or BosterCastleStudios.com. They'll all go there, and they can send us a message there for sure if they want to, reach out and figure out how to get into Missouri Hollywood.
Okay.
Especially if they understand the way the industry is going, and they want to get in on that from a standpoint of like saying, hey, let's build a Hollywood right here in Missouri.
Well, I'm in. I mean, Joey's in. He's already showing me his butt crack that I don't want to look at. So Flush is let's green light Flush instead of Flush. Okay. Well, my friend,
let's green light Flush, man.
Green light Flush.
Well, we need a weekend. We're going to write a script. We're going to be out there like shooting in toilet companies right now.
I just think this has the possibility. Well, I don't know. Well, let me think more about it over the next. I have to run and pee. Let me think about it while I'm doing that. Okay. Thank you, my friend. I always have a good time, and I can't wait to hear the latest updates soon, okay?
All right, be well, brothers, and thanks for having us on.
All right, buddy. Take care now. Bye-bye.
Thanks for having us on. He's doing the royal we thing. He's been living in that castle so long. He's like, we are glad to be here.
His wife, so I think he was mentioning his lovely wife that is his
Queen Boster.
Queen, my dad. You didn't tell me. You have been tanning your butt crack. Show me that. Wow, that is something.
He might be a royalist.
How do you do that? That's not bronzer that you put on your butt crack, is it?
It's brown.
It is. Okay. I was just want to make sure that it's actually bronze or issue. Hey, by the way, the iPhone, can I say sucks? Can I say sucks? Because here's the thing. I mean, you gave me this little tip whenever we're doing a show, our spectacle, and you say, why don't you put your phone on Do Not Disturb? Well, for some reason, even though I do that, it keeps going off. Why does my stupid iPhone that cost me more than a deck of cards, why does that happen? Or is this a little trickery you're pulling just to make me look stupid?
I have no idea. You know, that movie I was talking about that I saw 28 years later, they filmed that with iPhones, and it's about to make $1 billion.
Get out of here.
So that thing in your pocket, don't talk trash about it. It could make you a bunch of money as long as you have zombies in our gun plumber movie.
I think flush is perfect, though, don't you? I mean, can you just see this? I mean, and we could have like it could be flush 1, flush 2, the big flush. I mean, it could be a whole franchise. You and I could, this could be our new thing. And then you know what we would do? Here, I tell you what I would do. As soon as flush is like a big winner, I would go into Big Joe, who loves me so much, and say, hey, not only am I a general public nuisance, but I'm a toilet public nuisance. That's what I would say.
If we filmed one of our scenes at Boster Castle, that would be the Royal Flush.
The Royal Flush.
Right there at the castle.
That could be episode 3. I like it. Yeah. Well, hey, did you have a good time today?
I had a wonderful time. I'm so glad that we didn't have to testify at the Biden dementia hearings. Those are going on right now. They got, like Ted Cruz and Senator Kennedy and Josh Hawley and Eric Schmidt just yelling at staffers.
I heard about that.
He says, did you know that he was crazy back then? And the staffer says, I don't remember. And they're like, oh, my God, it's spreading. You've got dementia, too.
That's a joke.
If you plead the 5th, then it's like, well, you've got the dementia as well.
You can't remember. Well, we were talking about that, too, though. But you're right. They're doing these hearings now, though. But isn't it kind of dumb, stupid, whatever other word you want to use? Because we all knew. I mean, it's like trying to let us in on some secret that we all knew. Like, oh, we're going to reveal that Joe was a demented boob. Okay, well, we all knew that. And what are we supposed to do? Oh, bombshell. Like, oh, I didn't know that. We all knew it. So what's the surprise here? What is the hook? Why am I watching this if I already know what the answer was all along? You know what I'm saying?
I think they get a lot of credits built up at the printer place down the street, and they just love taking advantage of the leftover money. So they print out those giant signs. Like, I think...
Signs?
Yeah, the one, I think Josh Hawley had pictures of Joe Biden's signature.
Oh,
and he was like, you see how these auto pen signatures are identical?
Right.
He's crazy. Like, well, you didn't really have to print off that giant sign for that.
No. The guy at FedEx or whatever they call it, the print shop, I mean, they're making some big... You think they're into some government scammery?
You remember when Marjorie Taylor Greene was trying to get Hunter Biden in trouble?
Yeah, I do
So she
remember
printed
that.
off all his nude selfies.
Yeah.
A giant poster board, and then put them up behind her and be like, see this guy's wiener? He's on cocaine.
Right.
He's got the coke wiener. You see how it's not, you see how it's all shriveled up? And we're like, well, Marjorie, you don't really need to do that. But I think we would do that.
Point.
If we were doing that, we'd print off a picture of a boob, and we'd rip off the
with
little
the nipple?
curtain.
Will we show the nipple?
Yeah, we'd rip off the curtain and be like, see this? That's Joe Biden. See this boob? And then people are like, oh, yeah, I see it.
The whole boob is Joe Biden.
Yeah.
I get it. That's a great joke. Yeah, you know what I mean.
I don't know if they're allowed to print that off. I mean, whenever I went to Kmart and I printed off my nudes, they'd call me up and say, we can't give you these.
I know.
And I'd say, well, are you keeping a couple? And they'd say, yeah, we're keeping a couple for our personal spank bank, but you can't have these.
Spank bank?
Yeah, so I think that's what's happening at the printer shop. They're getting like black market print deals.
Yeah.
After hours print deals. They can print these nude selfies and these pictures
Nude
of boobs.
selfies of Joe's boob?
Hunter Biden's boobs, yeah.
His boobs, too. Wow, that's a crazy family. But we already knew that, and it's not a secret.
And gabagool. That's how you know this entire
Gabagool.
episode was not AI. Because I said the safe word.
I think Sarah should be part of the show. I think Sarah did a fine job. Can we listen to the commercial one more time?
You know I've always got it queued up. There's no time delay whenever you ask me these questions.
The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter is a radio show that all women love. The hosts are handsome, the jokes are about feminists who don't shave, and the show airs on Saturday afternoons at 5, which means I can listen in the kitchen while I'm making sandwiches for my hungry boys. I love The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter, and you will too. Only on News Talk STL. Oh, and just in case Vic Porcelli thinks this is an AI voice, the safe word is gabagool.
Wow.
Gabagool.
Gosh, darn it. That just makes me so happy and hot.
We got a fan.
Oh, we finally got a fan. Even if it's an AI fan. I'll take any fan we can. I mean, an AI fan, that's better than a bot, isn't it? I don't know what a bot is, but I think an AI Sarah is better than a bot.
She's a cutie.
You know what I'm talking about? Get it?
Yeah, of course.
That was punny, wasn't it?
Let me show you a picture of
Let me
her.
see a picture of the bot. Let me see the AI's bot body. Oh wow, she is cute. Wow, and she even has
She's merch. She's got merch.
She's got the Right Mind shirt on. I want one of those. Unbelievable. I think she's part. Mitch, you're fired. Hey, look, it's Donald Trump. I just fired Mitch. We're gonna have AI Sarah to replace Mitch.
Perfect.
I like it. Well, did you have a good time today?
I had a wonderful time.
I did too. Well, you know what I always say, don't you?
You say, pull up your britches. I can see your crack.
And I did see your crack, and that is not bronzer.
No, what do you say?
I always say, if you don't have a right mind, you don't have a mind at all. Until next time, bye-bye, and put that crack away. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to The Right Mind Show with Todd Showalter. To find out about all things Todd, go to toddsprod.com. We will see you next Saturday night at 5 p.m. and Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. right here on 101.9 94.1 News Talk STL, and always streaming online at newstalkstl.com.